Meet Kevin Harrington. With over 500 products launched and generating $5 billion in product sales in over 100 countries, Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, as seen on TV pioneer, and original shark on the Emmy Award-winning TV show Shark Tank.
Hi there. I'm Kevin Harrington, an original shark from ABC's hit TV show Shark Tank, as well as pioneer of the infomercial industry. I'm here today with Doug Zanes, personal injury lawyer and owner of Zanes Law Firm in Arizona, and his wife, Claudia Zanes. And welcome, Claudia and Doug.
Hi, Kevin. Hi.
Hi, Kevin.
Good to have you. Now, let's start by I want to focus on the particular expertise that you have and your background in law. And Doug, maybe we'll start with you.
Well, I went to law school at St. Mary's University in San Antonio, Texas. And as soon as I finished, I moved back to Arizona, actually, and worked in a personal injury law firm for a couple of years. When I realized that's what I wanted to build a career doing, I changed jobs. And I took a job where I could actually learn to litigate cases, and spent the next few years, quite honestly, in a public defender's office trying cases every week. And after I got the trial experience that I wanted, I started Zanes Law, and have spent the last 20 years representing clients on personal injury cases and litigating cases for my own firm.
Fantastic. Now, it's very powerful to have a husband and a wife team. And I know, Doug, you take care of the law side of things, Claudia, the business side of things. So tell me about that relationship and how it works, and I'll let either one of you take that one.
Well, the way that came up actually is, I always knew I wanted to start my own firm even when I went off to law school. What I didn't realize was, business is a whole separate thing, and you don't learn about business in law school. And, as I started the firm and was a few years into the firm, I did great legal work, but I also realized what a business mess I had created.
Gotcha.
And, together, Claudia and I actually came to the realization that the best way to really build the firm that we wanted, but more importantly, build a firm that could serve clients really well, would be for her to come over and, quite honestly, run the business side of the practice and help build the business side of the practice. And that would free me up to just do the legal work and focus on the lawyers that work for us and focus on managing the legal side of the practice. And so, by quite honestly, teaming up put us in a much better position to really represent our clients well.
Great. So, Claudia, as the partnership here and your side of it being running the business side, what are some of the challenges that you faced and some of the changes you had to make maybe when you first came in?
Well, we've got to think about that. This was 20 years ago. So we were quite young. And
okay.
Right, being 30 years old, you don't know much about anything, but we have a lot of energy, right, at 30 years old. So, and a lot of will to learn and a lot of drive. And so all of those things were just really great things back at that time. And I remember knowing, not much about the legal world, that's for sure. But I was willing to try, and I worked hard, and I knew I was smart, and I knew we could figure it out. So initially, anything is starting with technology, starting with, the way things were back then. Doug and I met when I was selling Yellow Pages. Yellow page advertising.
Right.
Everybody knows what that is now.
A long time ago.
So, just given that, will tell you how far this has been. And so starting with Yellow Pages and in advertising and the way media works, and internet wasn't very big at that time. And so there's that whole scope of marketing that is a big piece of any business, right?
Right.
And so there's finance, there's financing, there's human resource things that we had to learn along the way. But I think the biggest thing has been marketing. That's been the biggest change from then to now.
I mean, when I think when I hear the business side of things, I think of revenue generation and building business, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and that's what marketing's all about. And hey, look, Doug, you went to school to learn how to be a great lawyer. They probably didn't have a lot of marketing courses during that. During I mean, I don't know. Did they have any or very minimal?
Well, no, yeah, I mean, you didn't have any class.
Right.
I think the first week after Claudia had left her job and started working within the firm, the first week she was looking at, well, what do we do each day when we come in? I mean, we had a small firm. I think I had probably 6 or 7 employees at that time. We had no goals. We had no processes. We had no systems. Everybody just showed up and did whatever they did each day.
Right.
It really is difficult to do a good job for the people that hire us when you have no structure.
Right.
But I didn't realize that at the time, right? And she came in and we started to, put in structure. I mean, she had all the ideas. Here's the other things that we need to do. And so then we were able to figure out, okay, how do we implement these within a law firm? How do we make this happen? And then we were able to do it in a way that still allowed me to spend my days in court because I was the only lawyer, to spend my days actually representing clients because I was the only lawyer at that point.
Yeah.
It was us teaming up to do this was really what enabled us to build this business.
Nice. Fantastic. Now, one of the other things I need to dive deep on because there's other personal injury law firms out there, obviously, but you have a particular expertise. You also, I love the fact that you start with a family business here, husband and wife, and that's something I know. My wife was in an accident a while back and she went with a family law firm because it just felt good, right? So, but how would you describe your differences and why maybe you're better than the other personal injury groups out there?
Well, and really it's been a progression, and as we've, now that we're 20 years in, really what our firm is about is really, knocking it out of the park every day for our clients when it comes to helping them navigate this process and get the medical care that they really should get and deserve, which is always challenging because lots of our clients don't have health insurance or they can't afford things like their copays or their deductibles. And it's getting them the health care that they need because that's what, if an insurance company should pay you $250,000 for your injury, they're not going to do it actually if you don't have the medical documentation to back that up.
Right.
And you haven't hired the experts that you need to back that up. And rather than simply moving cases through and getting them done, we've really settled into a place over the last 4 or 5 years of driving case value to where it should be. So our clients actually get compensated the way that they deserve to be.
Gotcha.
Just getting a case done because clients don't know what their case is worth, under most circumstances. And if their lawyer tells them, hey, your $50,000 settlement is a great settlement, they don't know.
Right.
Really, it's worth $250,000. They have no idea, or it could be worth $250,000. And so that really has been our focus the last 5 years, and I think we really have done that well.
That positions you in a very strong place, and congratulations on that. So, I got to ask this question: what advice would you give a person that just had a car accident?
Hire a lawyer.
Hire a lawyer, yeah.
We'd love for you to hire us if it's in Arizona, but hire a lawyer. I mean, insurance companies are businesses, and their goal isn't to pay out more than they have to.
Right.
The goal is to minimize that as much as they can. So hire a lawyer. People seem to think, hey, look, my lawyer's going to take a percentage of the money that they get me, so I'm better off without him. I can tell you, it's kind of like owning 100% of nothing is a lot less than owning 50% of something that's worth $10 million.
Exactly. Yeah.
Getting full value on your case, even though you're going to have to pay the lawyer,
right, puts
you in a much better place than getting 25% of the value of your case, but not having to pay a lawyer.
Right. And 20 years in the business, family business, it's a great this is a good place for people to be looking right now if they've had an accident. Zanes law firm. So just maybe a last question for Claudia before we wrap up here. Can you think of any people that you've had that you've helped and have had some good success with? Maybe just sort of a case study of some type. You don't have to mention any names.
Right.
But...
Correct. Well, yeah, no, we can think of a lot of cases, and we'll think, and I'll divert to Doug for the cases because he's the one that works directly in the cases. But one thing that I consider success, Kevin, is not, while you're building a business and you're focusing on becoming successful and you're focusing on every and all the components that a business has, the thing that I consider very successful is how we've been able to contribute and be part of our community in whatever communities we're in, to create enough success to allocate time and resources and money to help the community that we're in. And so that question is, that's my answer to that question. I consider that a huge success, but I will let Doug talk about the actual success in cases.
Fantastic. Doug, any last words, and we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, I'll tell you a quick example is I was thinking about a case earlier today, just by chance, where we represented a guy hit on a motorcycle. Significant injuries. He broke his leg. He had 2 surgeries. I think with a lot of lawyers, that case would have resolved for probably $300,000, $400,000, $500,000. We actually worked that case up the way that I've talked about, the way that we do it. And that case got resolved without having to sue anybody for $1.1 million. Mm-hmm. That is what we try to do all day, every day. But it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of focus, and it takes a lot of effort.
A lot of expertise.
And what I've seen throughout the years, Kevin, is that, with somebody starting off, you don't have the resources, the financial resources to hire experts, to work, to pay your employees to work those cases as they should be worked, right? As giving them the time and the resources that they need so that they can work those cases. And what I've seen Doug do throughout the years is just allocate more and more and more resources to cases to give them the time that they need. And so that's really, really critical when I've seen, who we were 20 years ago, 10 years ago, and today. So, when you ask the question also, what should I do? Yeah, talk to an attorney who's been doing this for a long time is probably your best bet.
Great. Well, on that note, I think it's perfect for me to kind of wrap up and say, for those that are listening right now, if you're faced with the difficult task of finding someone that you can trust to get advice on an injury, accident, a wrongful death, slip and fall, or vehicular accident of any type, don't do it alone, all right? I'm going to recommend that you reach out to Zanes Law now and schedule a free consultation, because it can make all the difference in your injury case and save you major headaches down the road. Also, as we've talked about, maybe larger settlements. So just want to say Zanes Law can be found at zaneslaw.com, or you can call 520-777-7777 in Tucson, or 602-999-9999 anywhere in the Phoenix area. So Claudia and Doug, thank you so much for being here. Been a pleasure hanging out with you, and good luck. And I know where to send people in your territories. Right to zaneslaw.com. So thanks so much.
Thank you, Kevin.
Take care. Bye-bye.